I've got to mute my mic in OBS. G'day! Welcome to another Nexus Gaming Series cast. I'll probably have a second one after this, but I'm your host, the Lime Bus, once again back at midnight. Well, now midnight for the US. Which, honestly, I should probably try to get on at least an hour earlier, but I was like, I was cooking dinner, I was taking my time, I was vibing to say the least. But I'm your host, the Lime Bus, and we do have a Division C West game this evening. ReGen Nebula facing off against Dream Beam. ReGen Nebula did play Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple, I believe it's called. I should know. But we do also see that Dream Beam banned out the Volskaya Foundry and Tomb of the Spider Queen, leading us to a Battlefield of Eternity, which I'm a fan of Battlefield of Eternity. I think it's a fun one. But by all means, I know it's not for everyone, but I do think it is a fun one at least. So I am in the process of opening up map number 1 now. Battlefield of Eternity is fun. I don't know what else to say. It's fun. I enjoy it. It makes me happy. That's because I do just get to hit things, and as the offlaner, I don't get to hit things often. So I take these times, cherish them, and run with it. And you should too if you're the offlaner if you get to smack things a lot. If you don't get to smack things a lot, you should take these times to really remember the simple joys of life of smacking things. Right, the game is opening up now. I'm going to swap on over into the game and we'll see where we go from here. So, on the left-hand side of ReGen Nebula, we have Phantoms on the Sonya, Modranite on the Muradin, Jason is on the Vala, Rabbit Penguin on the Genji, and MJ Doom on the Rhaegar. On the other side, we do see Shusui on the Varian, as I scroll back down here. Spice is on the Anduin, Quinal on the Li Ming, Skiv is on the Joanna, who's spinning very rapidly, and Bloonstein V2 is on the Lunara. So right, the question is, how are we going to go from here? I think it should be a good one to say the least. But we'll have to see. As we are just going to get a lot of posturing. In saying that, we do see that it is the Vision Wisp, Sentinel Wisp from the Lunara. So they did find everyone immediately. Q-Build Vala is also an important thing to note here. But Variant is having a good think about things. Likely we may see either Q or High Kings. But until we see that, it's hard to say. And of course, Q build Vala picked up, as it is also its High Kings. Q with Vala very good at the race itself once level 7 comes through. Similarly, we see Li Ming already going likely to lean into that Q build. Hard to say quite exactly what will be happening, but it is likely to say the least. We do also see that Lunara picked up. Lunara does get that Nature's Culling at level 4, which does do bonus damage to the, well, to non-heroic targets, essentially. Oh, nice hammer by Midandrite. Midandrite. Midandrite? Aeronite? Is that an L? Midronite! Oh my god, that's an L, not an I, but no, we can see they're taking a lot of damage, and they will go down Lunara finding in there. And that is, as camp has been up for a little bit, so, as I say, I'd expect to see a call to do camp bottom, but no, we're not getting that. Instead, it is just going to be time to siege, which, fair enough, sieging time is a fun time. Jason taking a decent hit for your beer. Good early game start to the game for Dream Beam, especially as they do have a comp that can do very well in both race and team fighting. In saying that, ReGen Nebula also has some very good tools for both racing and team fighting. Interesting to see Sonya had to back, especially because Variant is already that early game. Kind of, he's a bit weaker at this point. He doesn't do quite as well. I suspect here we're going to see either Twin Blade or Smash. Interesting if we see Taunt, but I imagine we're going to see a Smash Variant. Which, I love a good Smash Variant. Forza through Variant, what are you thinking? He is making up his mind. He really wants to Twin Blade. This is the eyes of a man who wants to Twin Blade. Look at them swing that sword. They know they just want 2 swords to go at it. But no, we're not going to see anything yet. It is Smash. Ultimately, that is the correct choice, as it does help a lot into Sonya, it helps a lot into the rest of the team. It makes that front line just incredibly squishy even for the low percent damage of the other team. We can see it's setting up for objective now. Camp done a bit early for the side of... can't remember what we called them. ReGen Nebula, but it's still getting value. But they have started at least objective earlier, which is very important as we can see Q-Build Vala is being picked up and we see the Nature's culling on Lunara. And even though they had such a good head start, ReGen Nebula did, you see Dream Beam has already essentially caught up. There is a camp top to deal with, but if you really want to subjective, you need to be all hands on deck for the side of ReGen Nebula, which you can see Jason is going to be backing out. They're in a little bit of danger. No one is racing for the side of Dream Beam is probably the thing to note here. But they don't really need to currently because Lunara is on it now. Now's the time to push in because you can see if you're the side of ReGen Nebula what is happening. Sonya is clearing top, so they do know that is at least a 4v3, but Varian has returned. And Genji looks to be the target of Varian. No smash I could hear, but no, it had already been used on Sonya prior. So they're unable to get it. And there's just... they're not very good at... ReGen Nebula can't really poke into this effectively. Because Li Ming is what you expect typically from the poke, but no, we can see that they're on the other team. Now we can see Might and Right has stepped in. They want to distract as long as possible to see if their team can race safely. They do eventually get it. They did have enough of a head start. And now that it will be the first Immortal of the game going top, and it will be in favor of ReGen Nebula. And we can see basically everyone except Sonya rotating up. Shisui probably will rotate down in a few moments, but they aren't necessarily in any rush. Right, Gates is being hit. 7's through for both sides, which I will bring that up now. Yeah, we do see we are full Q-Build Li Ming. We are full Q-Build Vala. We are that Q-Build Vala, so that'll be very good at the single target race. As well as just good damage in the late game as well, and it only speeds up from here. Interesting that we see Given the Axe. Not often you do see that on Mirrodin. You very definitely see a Skullcracker more, or Heavy Impact even more so than Given the Axe. Given the Axe is good in its own right, but it just has seemed to pale in comparison to its similar leveled talents as of late. And do note that Lunara, importantly, is the burst damage at level 7, so that is a scary prospect for the team of ReGen Nebula. Speaking of which, it's a scary concept. Varian, a little bit dead. It's unfortunate, but it happens. We can see now, all the while, Jason considers starting bottom, but they're actually going, you know what, we can siege. Even if it's just Skev, that's really only one person. We can see the others are still top. They have to rotate down. So we may as well get what we can while we can. And that is a good 2 towers taken already. And they're considering keeping going, but no, they can't push into that at the moment. Jason getting a nice roll, getting a little bit of Q action. Does miss the second one, but hit the first one at least. Someone is messaging me and I don't know who. Let me mute that for, let's say 3 hours. But no, camp has been picked up by ReGen Nebula. Their own Bruiser camp is up in a couple of seconds, while 23 seconds still on the side of Dream Beam's Bruiser camp. See, Genji's already started, Rhaegar and not Sonya. Vala also making their way there. You would guess, I guess you'd think of a team that they're very likely here, but you don't really have the best ways to invade it currently. There's 3 people showing mid, so you know for a fact that the team isn't going to invade. So you're pretty safe, feeling pretty safe with 3 people on that camp by themselves. But now race has started. We can see that a little bit behind for Dream Beam as ReGen Nebula has a good start. Phantoms is the one in danger. Does use Leap to get out. Good use of Leap there. And in that time it took to try kill Sonya, the team of ReGen Nebula got the objective, got the first half of the objective. Marginite seeing if they can spawn, does hammer Anduin really early on. No kill onto him yet, but they do get hit by the X strike. There is a lot of damage dropping on top of them. Jay's on Beyblading in the background, but will be fine. Ancestral coming up on Mydrol Knight. my Drow Knight. Either way, they're doing a lot of taking damage, but Ancestral absolutely necessary because they would be below it at this point. Leeming goes for some cheeky damage at the end, but it will not find anything. But to talk about heroics real quick, we do have the Strafe Vala, Ancestral Healing, Rhaegar, Leap Sonya, Muradin with Avatar, and the Extract Genji of emphasized. We do see Repulsion on the Li Ming, Blessed Shield, Joanna, Leaping Strikes. The Lunara, as you said, Smash was picked at level 4 for Vivarian, and Light Bomb rounding things out for the Anduin. Which, yeah, fair enough. Oh, Bluestein had seen him. Nice leap onto the Li Ming taking a lot of damage. Hammer finding him immediately. Good interrupts. Quinal just barely managing to hold on. However, Sonya not forward of the same nicety. We see Jason spinning, but Mydrael Knight took a leaping strike, and that is him going down. Rabbit Genji does kill the Lunara on the way out, actually getting to safety as well. And that is exactly what you want if you're Genji, just getting a quick pick while you're leaving. Nice. Nope. And now they're just going to siege top. They know they can't really be bottom. Bottom is already down. Camp going to be ignored by the side of Dreambeam as they're needing to rotate up for some juicier targets, but by the time they get up there, they've already left. Sure, they're considering doing top camp. We can now see Skev and Co. realizing that that is what was occurring. But this is still not an easy fight. Lunara's not with the team. If they do decide to put Jason pushes in very high, but I guess that was all a bait. They need to go now. A little bit too late, but they are still going to look for fight. Nice leap. That is a lot of damage going on to Quinal. Quinal is going to go down. Rhaegar finishing with auto. We see Anduin going down as well to the Genji, Mura, and Sonya that's on top of him. Wizard Shield coming out. However, Shisui, well, Vivarian, I should say, not known for the escape potential. And Skev going to try hold on, but no, will go down as well. Meanwhile, Lunara is just trying to get them back to 13s. They did have that disadvantage. They need to somehow build things back up. It was good that Dreambeam at least got the camp, so they denied ReGen Nebula taking it. But they're still in a spot going, okay, what can we do here? Because the race hasn't been quite going our way. We have built up some of these team fight talents, so maybe we have to take some of those a little bit more. Because we do see Li Ming has a good single target. Joanna with Blessed Shield and Varian Smash can absolutely blow things up. It would probably be correct to do so. Oh, ignore me yawning again. I apparently had a long day. And we're fighting for the glory of high heavens once again. So I'm going to close these talents and zoom out. As 13s are at least now through for Dreambeam. So this is accidentally yanking on my headphone cord. Whoops. As this is one of the few times it's going to be late. Mydrael Knight jumps in. We can see Leap going as well. There goes pull onto Bluestein. But Shisui is the one in the middle of a rough spot. Nice stuns. Because we see the Light Bomb and the Conviction on Joanna doing a lot there. Quinal loses their spell armor to slam on Muradin. Muradin taking a lot of damage. We do need to see Ancestral up. No, it was just a few seconds off, so they go down. Raven Penguin does use jump to get out. Do walk into an orb to take a lot. Quinal goes for the finish with the repulsion, but doesn't quite find it. And that fight is exactly what the side of Dreambeam needed. Because now, well, ReGen Nebula is going to have to try race what they can. And see if they can catch up in terms of soak. And objectives being done. Not all the race on it. We can see MJ Doom instead is doing the camp behind. Objective goes down. They really need to finish the camp now before the invade happens. Good timing on that. And we can see objective, however, unfortunately, is going bottom. So the camp will have to contest with the Immortal. We're getting some pings. We're looking at an aggressive play. Leap fighting Anduin. Anduin, however, is the one person who they cannot pull out. Quinal being ran down by Rabid Penguin. Rabid Penguin is double checking things. Going, maybe I don't want to chase for Sonya quickly. Jason has been left behind. They roll in. A little bit unfortunate in that regard. And Quinal, meanwhile, has ended up quite deep, I would say. Rabid Penguin has found them. They do use the deflect. And that is a lot of Quinal's damage burst down. They do now need to get past Rhaegar. They jump to where Mydrael Knight is. My Drow Knight, I should say, and we can see Li Ming does die. It does happen, it's unfortunate, but Li Ming can die, it turns out. She did live a while, to be fair. I'm surprised she got quite that far. And that's exactly what you need if you are ReGen Reborn. Because you're a bit afraid that Dream Beam were starting to get their momentum up. They did get a couple of kills. They got the objective, but you very much nullified it because you managed to go very aggressive, take out the Anduin. And then with how Li Ming was split, they went down as well. That is a very unfortunate wedge that was driven between the team members of Dream Beam. They've come bottom to bottom camp. They know the other team went top. So like, you know what, we can give this. We don't need to go in here. Let's just play safe, play it smart, and do well. And that's what they do. They play it safe, they play it smart. They're taking their time. Clever, just clear the wave, disappear. They've only just hit, they're gonna be 16 talents now. Oh, sorry guys. It's not even that late for me. But I do intend on getting through a couple of casts this evening, as I do need to continue towards my goal of beating the all-time record for most casts in a season. It is an uphill battle by any means. I've taken a little bit too long to get to the 30 mark. I need to definitely speed things up, so that's why I am pulling a little bit of double time, so to speak. And it very much, well, I'd say that, but it depends. If this is a 2-1, if this is a 3-map series, I'm not doing another series after this. If it is a 2-map series, I'll consider it. I may find another series to cast. I'm sure there are plenty around. Because if we have a look over here. Teams, caster tools, caster dashboard, replay. Yeah, there's a lot there. Good blind onto the My Drow Knights. Not going to do much. Oh, only 24, not as much as I thought. See, objective started, but by the time they had started properly, the side of ReGen Nebula burnt things down. Because let's have a little stat check real quick. 17 stacks on Vala is not much, but it still is enough when Monster Hunter comes into play. Meanwhile, Q-Build Li Ming, if it gets the chance, will absolutely slap. And we can hear those little dings as we do hear the Seeker triggering. But no, the wedge has been driven in once again. They've been forced away from the Immortal they're so wanting to burn. Oh, Jay is on just out of range of a Li Ming. Immortal going for a stun. Doesn't quite find anything. Quinal finds a decent amount of damage onto the Immortal. So how are we doing this? Sonya is actually split pushing while this is happening. So this is the time. Well, we can see Variant's also on map. Oh, nice stun by my Drow Knight, getting a decent amount. Jason takes a lot of damage as they took 3 of those orbs. 3 of those arcane missiles at once, and those do 262 extra damage if at least 3 hit. Rabid Penguin deflecting, expecting more damage, didn't quite find it. Skiv slowed by the dogs. I forgot Rhaegar's name. Rhaegar's Earth Grasp Totem? Either way, it's going to do a decent slow, do a little bit of damage into that reduction. But now we can see everyone is pushing in. Varian goes in. My Drow Knight taking a lot. Where is the smash? Nice leap, nice kill. That's a Li Ming down. Ancestral going off, healing My Drow Knight. But Phantoms is in danger. They don't have their normal escape of leap up. Nice light bomb in the backline. However, that's still Varian going down. Double leaping strike by the Lunara. Joe went down to Spice, try to pull them, and we can see Lunara goes down last. Genji is quite a hard one to escape from. Even if you're Lunara, even if you're Lucio, the Genji can find you, and will indeed hurt you. And now it looks like we're going to get a very aggressive push here from the side of ReGen Nebula. They're in fact going to go bottom to start. They're going to see if they can get 2 buildings in the same strike. In the same moment, I should say. They can see this is getting torn apart. And Li Ming's only just up now, right as that building went down. Great structure damage. You see Immortal is now top. Quinal in an awkward spot. If they were seen there, that could have been a dead Li Ming. see Jason is focusing a little bit more structure damage than on the hero damage, and that's probably why they're a little bit less in terms of the Q build. They have been focusing more on the objective, focusing more on the buildings, as they do have good single target damage, and it just does mean that their later game suffers, as they're only at 20 stacks at level 20. We can see they do go the Death Dealer at level 20 as a result of that. They're not going to lean into the Acrobat. Other things to note, we do have Farseer's Blessing Rhaegar, we do have the Ignore Pain on the Sonya, Rewind Muradin, and Living Weapon on the Genji. 20s are still a little bit off of the side of Dream Beam. They're still a level and a half off. They'll get there soon enough, but we can see that they are definitely trying their damnedest. If we look at talents, you can see that tanking Muradin's taken a lot, but they somehow survived. And we can see Li Ming, Lunara, and Varian all relatively close on damage, sharing that load as opposed to Vala having the most on the other team, with Genji and Sonya a little bit behind them. Show me healing numbers. Oh, I was like, Camp is in trouble. Camp's going down. 50k healing and 60k Rhaegar. So Rhaegar's absolutely working overtime. Rhaegar and Anduin's trying his best, but isn't quite able to keep up at the moment. Good fort take by the side of ReGen Nebula. We see them backing out immediately. Similarly, we see a back out of the bottom lane by Dream Beam. If you're wanting to make sure that ReGen Nebula wasn't trying anything cheeky, but no, ReGen Nebula playing an honest game, did half and are just going to be looking to clear and get ready for the objective, which unfortunately for them, I was saying never mind the objectives now, which is a bit unfortunate for Dream Beam. They're not quite at the 20s they so desire, and that will make things a lot harder this team fight, which, hey, it will happen sometimes. Just see how they can manage this late game fight, because if it's a few people down, that could be game. Muradin holding a very deep anchor. That's the word I'm looking for. Looking to see if there's anything they can engage upon. We can see they are defensive-sided Immortals, so the side of ReGen Nebula are going to be aggressing into Dream Beam. Muradin gets blinded. Does dodge anything. Alright, we're going in now. Phantom immediately gets smacked out. Oh, MJ Doom taking a decent orb to the back there. I think I'm going to do one cast there. I think I'm just too tired. We do see Boop out of the rest of the team, which they will just go to safety. But in that moment, we did see that as a very good lead now for ReGen Nebula. They'll be pushing in, seeing what they can do about getting Dream Beam off the point. Spice going for a root does find Genji. Nice leap. We see a death. Actually, no, I will do too. I'm going to keep changing my mind, but we see Living Weapon gets 2 resets. Spice goes down, and we can see that now. That is a good Farseer's Blessing, healing everyone for so much. Genji goes for a variant and finds Li Ming in the process. Li Ming is not a fan of that. Genji gets 2 good kills just like that. And that looks like it will be an encore. Don't know what Joe can do to defend against all these people, but you can damn well try. Good blind start. We do see damage coming onto Skev, but Joe wants for Vala. Vala gets pulled into fort range. We're going to try the best actually to find Jason. Jason a little bit more pressure than they were expecting to be, but it is still the Joanna down at the end, and that will likely be the first game of the series going over the side of Ow My Leg, ReGen Nebula. Ow My Leg is not the team lane. I just felt it crap, but that'll be that game going over to them. So let me throw it onto the game summary screen and we can see how that was, shall we? In terms of talents, Varian wasn't quite able to finish High King's quest. I do not know what he was missing, but he wasn't quite there. It may have been Globes. Vala, 23 stacks of Q build, and win 4 of Piercing Light is probably the main things to note. I did like Dream Beam's build. It is just a build? Team comp? Team comp. It's just very magic damage heavy, even with Lunara existing as a, very burst heavy, because Lunara was... Okay. Scaling into that burst build, but they did get intensifying toxin at 20, so it would have helped speed things up, but that came a little bit late. On that, I do like every other build. I'm interested in Nerves of Steel, just because it is often you see upgraded Slam picked at level 16, where it self heals and does percent damage. Giant Killer, Giant Slammer, whatever it's called. But no, they will just opt with the safer Nexus steal. I'm very much flip-flopping on whether I go to sleep after this series or not. We also see that in terms of hero damage, Li Ming did have most, but Vala was catching up in the end. So we go over to map view screen and we can have a look. So map number 1 went over to ReGen Nebula. What do we have next? I'm afraid I know what it is. How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes. Got nowhere to run. And we're back at Inferno. I am honestly fine with playing Inferno. Casting it, it's back at the halfway point. It is in 50% of the game's matches I have casted. It was always going to happen eventually. But, hey, it does happen. Also, hey, I hope you're doing well. I just see a little oof there. But it should be fine. There's some interesting comps here. They are relatively standard, but there's 1 or 2 picks I do always like to see come out. But let me drop it on over into the game and we'll see how that goes, shall we? On the side of Dreambeam start this time, we have Skev on the ETC. Quinal is on Junkrat, the Rubbish Rodent, Juice Shu Sui. I went to go say Juice Sui, and I don't know why. Well, either way, if you're on the Diva, Spice is on the Stukov, Bluestein V2 rounds things out for with the Orphea. On the other side, we do see Phantoms on the Blaze. Mydril Knight is on the Joanna. Jay's on Jaina. Jesus, I can't remember names today. Anduin on the MJ Junior Anduin, and Rabid Penguin is on the Falstad. Yeah, I'm really losing my mind tonight. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a 1 series night. But nice charge by Phantom. Skiv's taking a lot of damage, does back out, and will be safe. You see Bluestein getting a little bit of damage on them. Does, however, just keeping that chip. It looks like Q build. Yeah, it is indeed Q build. And I want that Give Me More to know that, yeah, she is not the only one who plays Q build in this. Well, I don't know. They aren't the only one who plays Q builds Orphea in NGS. But nice, I do like my Droll Knight just slowing everyone down, seeing if they can deny even a little bit of soak. And they managed to do so. 2 of those globes did get small. And all while we can see rotating back up mid is the side of ReGen Nebula. They've been very good on these rotations so far. Both camps are up, or all camps are up, I should say. So let me just zoom out as my Droll Knight is going to be a little bit of a pest. Here we see Jason and Co. just trying to clear. Bluestein V2 does get targeted a little, but no one will contest them. Maybe you do bot camp if you're the side of ReGen Nebula. Yeah, I do like that. We can see that was what they were liking as well, as they do take it. So good aggressive start for ReGen Nebula, immediately taking that neutral camp. And we see Joanna has gone to deal with the Impalers, who are just going to be keeping on stabbing the wave. Well, not the wave, but the fat towers. See, level 4s are through first for the side of ReGen Nebula, and Falstad actually cancelled his flight there. They didn't quite want to use the epic. Oh, that's not called epic battle at that point. I can't remember what it's called. Just the flight. We can see now Jason walks into a Junkrat trap while rotating down. Meanwhile, up top, Rabid Penguin and Phantom seeing if they can follow Shu Sui. But Shu Sui will back out. Diva going to be fine. And once again, we do have good rotational advantage for ReGen Nebula. They're absolutely killing, clearing these waves and moving up to the next to make sure they get as much value out of them as possible. They're actually doing much to make sure experience doesn't drop. What the? Oh! Oh my god, Ictar! I figured it out! Ictar, I figured it out! There's a button! Right, we can see camps are being picked up. That's the first time I've ever figured out how to take that. There is a hidden button right here! I did not know that. But yeah, there you go. I've learned something today. I've finally been able to get rid of a blue box that's been taunting me at the bottom of my screen for the better part of 3 seasons now. And that is a good win for me today. I am reinvigorated. Oh, the energy has returned. It will disappear soon, but man, it is a rush. It does not show a button. It was Control-Shift-T. No one... You told me O. But let me hide that again. Oh, nice roll by Rabid Penguin. There's actually going a massive fight going on. I've been talking about the UI settings. You see Phantom's doing the best to hold on to things. Shusui does drop... That's the one I'm going to Shusui. It's not the easiest roll for tongue for me. But no, they are going to keep fighting. Joanna now in danger. They do give the objective. Mortar Punisher is found by the side of ReGen Nebula. And that is a good objective phase for them, even though I was talking about UI control for a while. Sorry, teams. Nice jump by the Punisher, but no follow-up there can help them to go on them directly. Joanna isn't necessarily something that can follow up easily on the Punisher up until level 9. Level 10 onwards, they have, well, Blessed Shield, one of the very good stuns of the game. You just kind of point it in someone's general direction and hit it, and someone usually goes down. Punisher is going for an absolute walk up the lane. It's not too fussed about fort behind it. It goes down, but the fort does go down for the side of Dream Beam. We can see ReGen Nebula also picking up the bottom camp. I popped off way too hard for that. I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting to pop off tonight. Not quite that hard, at least. Right. Camp being picked up by the side of Dream Beam. We can see ReGen Nebula has their own up, and both bruises were done roughly the same time. So there is just once again the eternal conflict happening top. Oh, charge just falling short onto Shusui. And Shusui will be like, I know you're messing with me a little, but I'm just happy I can come back. I have my baby diva form that can bring me back my mech. Like, I'm fine. Quest complete by Jaina as they finish Fingers of Frost out. Junkrat may be the target here. Does get hit by a good stun. However, it does have Concussion Mine to get themselves out of danger. Meanwhile, Joanna going very aggressive here already. I'm just so happy about this. I just didn't realize. Wait a minute. I'm figuring things out slowly but surely about this. That's more I can look into later. I wonder how that... I'm curious. Things to figure out later. We do see now that is going down. Tower lost. Gate going down. Next tower is the one available. It will be being hit by the team. Nice stun by Marginal Knight. And we can see a level 10s are through for both teams. Speaking of 10s, we do have the Summon Water Elemental on the Jaina. Blessed Shield, Joanna. Cooldown Bunker on Blaze. Flight coming out top on Felstad, who did choose Gust. And we can see Light Bomb on the Anduin. On the other side, we do see Diva now in trouble. Does get hit with stun, does get hit with the Gust. I don't know if the Gust is necessary, but I think Diva is going to go down either way here. She does pop her mech. She is trying her hardest to hold on. Rabid Penguin doesn't quite take her out. That is a lot of heroics used for a Diva to survive. Speaking of Diva surviving, we do see that she went Bunny Hop at level 10. Also Riptide, Junkrat, Flailing Sight Stukov. Mosh went ETC. What I was meant to say is ETC went Mosh before I butchered that sentence. You can see also that Orphea went the Chomp talent Eternal Feast at level 10. Because I honestly refer to both those talents as Chomp. It's not a great habit of mine, but it is still a Chomp. You can't tell me otherwise. I also hope everyone in the chat is doing alright tonight. It feels like it's been a long week already. It's only finished. Wednesday's only just finished to me, but man, I am like ready to rest for ages. I'm ready just like this week to end. I've like extended a few days off next week where I'm going to take a little 5-day hiatus from work, 3-day hiatus from work, take a weekend off. Have my weekend off as well and just be hopefully back at it refreshed because I've been feeling the burnout of that stuff recently, my god. However, we do have a cast at hand, so enough of me complaining. Let me have a look at the teams as we will now see. Fight breaking out soon. Marginal Knight does see Trap get thrown in there. Rabid Penguin stepping up going, maybe I shouldn't be here. We're saying Quinal does have their Dirty Trickster triggered via level 7. Nice charge by Blades, finding Shusui. Shusui does have Bunny Hop there. Might imagine we're going to see it in a few moments. Yep, there it is. There's the Light Bomb. Does cancel Skev out, and we can see that Junkrat actually went on short cooldown for the Riptide, which is actually ideal in their situation. They're going to try back up to safety so they can get it off. There comes the Mosh. Nice Gus. Jason gets to live. That was excellent timed Gus, because actually that went on long cooldown for ETC. Mosh didn't even go for a short one. And that is the main combo of Dream Beam down. It almost seemed like they were banking on that Mosh, that ETC Mosh and Orphea combo, because it really seems like the rest has been kind of stalling for that. And that was such a good Mosh as well. It's heartbreaking to see it get cancelled out by Gus, but Gus is considered one of the best abilities in the game for a reason, and that damn well shows why. Nice slide by Skev, getting peeled by the... Okay, Jason, you definitely stayed. You're welcome. Bunker was dropped to see if they can help, but no, that was to no avail. Blaze jumps out, gets into the angry puddle on the ground, that purple puddle. And all the while, we do see that Dream Beam has taken the lead for this objective. Albeit, it will be possible... Oh, Skev has been found accidentally by Bindle Knight as they get lit on fire by their Holy Fury. Quinal does start clearing the wave. And this may just have to be a fort you give if you're ReGen Nebula. You can't quite afford to take a jump from Punisher this high. It's better just to back up and give that fort, because if you lose someone now, you're potentially giving more than just the fort itself. If see that fort does go down, well, no. Oh. Yep, nope, all my energy lost from my HUD. See, Gate is falling. There is the jump from the Punisher, getting a decent amount of damage onto Hydro Knight. Jason also forced to back up. You can see that there's a lot of siege coming out for the side of for Dream Beam. They get basically the front gate, the actual gate part of the gate, the tower, and a third of the other, which is pretty good, considering it was the second Punisher of the game. Rabid Penguin, meanwhile, is going to be backing Shusui. Barely had them out of their line of sight, out of their vision. I should say, not their line of sight. Line of sight would be slightly different. I've gone in instead of out. Let me zoom all the way out, because we see both camps being picked up. ReGen Nebula doing this a little bit faster than Dream Beam, but both getting them out at very similar times once again. We have a Diva remix from a goddamn mile away, but it will at least be remixed. Orphea does the best to clear the camp. Skev steps up, does get the reset onto Mosh, which that is excellent for them. We can see another team are forced to back out. Right, good clear. We are nearly at 16s for the side of ReGen Nebula. They are getting in a hair's breadth away from it. They will have an advantage. Right, and the teams do pick up their talents. We see Phantoms trying to tickle Shusui a little bit. Shusui does back out. They do have 16s now, which will open up talents to see those. As we do see Root on Jan, that will make things much harder for that Diva to escape. Skev has found the team. They do have their combo up. It doesn't look like they are wanting to commit to it yet. Jason taking a decent chunk of damage. Hydro Knight pushed back in by Shusui, however, nothing found from there. I also want to take a note of quests while we're here. We're at, well, Jaina completed Fingers of Frost, hasn't actually finished their baseline Frostbite. That one is still going, so they don't have their invuln yet. And that potentially is a massive problem. That we do see 27 globes on Laws of Hope from Joe. She hasn't quite found Subdue, and Anduin's gone Piercing Light. In terms of quests on the other side, we do see that ETC finished Prog Rock, and that Junkrat is currently at 56 stacks of Taste for Explosion. And interesting to see Blaze going Adhesive Petroleum. It's very often you see the charge talent at level 13, so it's always interesting to see when, well, it's not picked. We're getting Shrine happen mid very shortly. It looks like it will be a Frozen Shrine, so this is one for all the marbles, kids. There is a little bit of advantage for the side of ReGen Nebula as they do. Actually, no, both teams have their force. So what am I on about? I'm just drunk. I'm not drunk. I have had a beer, but by no means have I decided to get intoxicated before casting, because I already say dumb enough things online. Like, you've heard me say Space Yoshi a bunch. You've seen me struggle with Shu Sui's name. Heaven forbid, if I get drunk, it's only going to get worse. I'm going to make so many mistakes. I'll end up calling, like, Alarak an Uberak or something, or seeing Diva pop her mech get double rooted, and then not go down, unfortunately, because the team had to back out. Because I'll be like, yeah, look at this Li Ming pop off, and Orphea, like, absolutely slaying it with her Qs. Because Blue Steam V2 doing very well with those with that Q build, hitting it very effectively. Jason dropping a Blizzard in the middle of things, getting a decent amount of damage. Both teams are 16s now, and that is exactly what we need. Chomp not quite finding it. Blue Steen out of position. I do wonder if we had the Blaze charged out, they would die a little bit quicker, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Light Bomb still finds Stu. You don't need to be present on the field for Light Bomb to hit people. I've found that out many times before, where you get accidentally gorge the Light Bomb target as Stitches and you still get stunned. Because that's just how it works, baby. But we do see that the side has been muscled out. Water Elemental finds the Junkrat Trap. Kunal seeing if they get something cheeky done. They are Burst Fire, so it's not quite going to find it. I know Burst Fire has a time and a place, but I'm not necessarily a fan of it. Jason nearly goes down and saying that that nearly worked out perfectly for Kunal, but no, nothing happened there. Right, globes are picked up. Frozen Punisher will be coming out. And I've just remembered I need to do something else after this. Thank you for someone messaging the right channel at the right time so I can have a look and know what I need to do. Right, they're going to be pushing into the fort now. ReGen Nebula does have the Punisher. Does actually jump on two people there. Frozen Punisher starting to get its value. Does get a nice route onto Junkrat, triggering their total mayhem already. It's a little tool that Junkrat's been missing for a few seconds, so they're a little bit more susceptible to things such as Blaze Charge and Stun well from everyone else. It did trigger again. We can see that it is ECC going down first. Jason did have that ice block just in time, actually. We're able to get out of danger. Phantom's going for the charge onto Shu Sui, but Shu Sui will be out. Nice stun onto the Stukov. Spice is like they're in danger now. Rabid Penguin's going after Blue Steen V2. Can't quite fully commit to it, however. You see now that it is a full 5-man on core. They do have Icy Veins on the Jaina, but they're not going to commit to it. They're a little bit low on resources. Rabid Penguins is, like, again, I'm going to combine words that doesn't make sense. I was about to combine resources and low. I was going to call it row, which is just what you do with your boat. You just row your boat gently down the stream. There's no stream here. This, alright. That's a waterfall. Do you count this as a stream? Anyway, there's a team fight going down here. As you see Stukov going down, Shu Sui is also getting relatively low. Does use roll, but however cannot get out. And Orphea actually finishes Dread. Anyway, is this a stream? Or is this like a weird lake? Also, Junkrat is trying to do the camp bottom. They do keep leashing it, so we've got to be a little bit careful about how they get it done. But we now see that camp is going to be pushing up into the fort. And the side of ReGen Nebula is deciding, actually, we want a piece of that. Oh, the shaman's going for a wander, never mind. They summon one dog, they summon two dogs. The dog will be in tower range first, however, shaman does also reach there before the other dog. So they won't be targeted by one of the towers, but they'll still lose down soon. That poor shaman's fighting valiantly, but goes down. Meanwhile, behind them, the rest of the team of ReGen Nebula, Jaina, found top fort. Camp's been cleared out. We just see very much Dream Beam is on cleanup duty. They just need to turtle till 20, but I imagine the next objective shall be called again shortly. So looking at the Storm talents, we do have Wintermute Jaina, Radiating Faith Joanna. Oh gosh. Fortified Bunker Blaze, Inner Fire Anduin? Yeah, Inner Fire Anduin and Wind Tunnel on the Haka, which Wind Tunnel is always in of itself a problem. On the other side, we are seeing they are now about halfway to their 20s. I would say it would be smart for a fight to start, but Mydrall Knight was found before they can really get away with anything. Had a bunch of grenades thrown at them for their efforts, and we're told to go away. Which I'm a fan of telling Joannas to go away at this point. You see them so frequently, you're like, may as well. But I do know there are other people in the NGS scene who would much rather heroes like Vala go away. Right, damage coming out onto Skev. We see MJ Doom ending up between a rock and a hard place. That's not where you want to be if you're Anduin. That is a very good concussion mine from Quinal. Quinal knows now what they need to do. Ice block from Jaina. She's running out of time. They immediately get chunked as they get out. But we can see that Junkrat goes down in the background in the meantime. Nice wind tunnel keeping Rabid, Penguin, and Koa alive. That is a good defensive use of it. Unfortunately, you couldn't do it offensively. Unfortunately for them, the shrine is up and they're down a little bit. So they know they just need to go elsewhere. They just have to concede this one. Like, yeah, sure, it's not ideal. You're giving away a late game Punisher. But you do also go, you can't fight into that. You may as well push elsewhere. So they've gone to the direct opposite side of the map and decide to push. D.Va, I'm sure, will go to defend in a few moments, but it's not going to be an immediate defense. But we can now see Shu Sui is up there. They're going to do what they can, but there is just a little bit too much damage for them to deal with. So we see Stukov is backed up as well. Shu Sui actually nearly losing mech is forced to pop D.Va bomb. And we now actually may see the team rotate their way back down. Bluestein has been left alone is probably the thing to know. So now we've got to see Dreambeam make their way there before Bluestein is found out. But Bluestein, just decides to leave. And when respawned, will be on his way back. And now it'll be very much a question of how quickly can ReGen Nebula catch up if they so need to. Which, Mydrall Knight staying very aggressive. Anduin is now back. We can see Junkrat is back. Jaina is not too far off. Skev is found by Mydrall Knight. Junkrat seeing if they can steal, and if they manage to steal 4 there, it's an uphill battle for ReGen Nebula to find this objective. Phantom's eating those Junkrat mines, so they aren't going to be found by the other team. D.Va's going in to clean up from behind, but no, there's a team fight going on elsewhere. Bluestein V2 does go down first. ETC doesn't quite hit the Mosh, and now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I haven't actually looked at their level 20, but see Phantoms is the next one on the firing line. Def Moshes for one thing picked up. Jason does take down Shu Sui from their bunny hop. Oh, wind tunnel fighting Spice and Shu Sui. You see the nice slap by Stukov right as the charge goes in, but however, they're still between a rock and a hard place. Junkrat goes for the concussion mine. That is the Stukov taken down. D.Va's next on the chopping block. And now we can see it's likely going to be an end call for the side of ReGen Nebula. But the thing about Junkrat is you do still kind of have to respect his damage, as he does do a decent amount of it. Because you see Jason just lost basically a third of their health in that one little volley. MJ Doom losing half their health from that volley. See that bunker has been dropped. Their team is going to get in it. There we go. All 5 members in the house. They jump out. 50 armor is so much. It lasts a little bit. Lasts a decent time as well, but that core is dropping. Cool one to Phantoms to give one last heal up, because it was a cool build, but it'd be the game. And the series going over the side of ReGen Nebula. Well played, teams. So let me swap on over to the game summary screen. We can see how that went. So, I forgot to push tab. So, the names are short enough. For the terms of hero damage, we do see that Felstar did the most for ReGen Nebula, and Junkrat actually popped off for Dream Beam, doing very well. But once again, Anduin doing X on that. Healing front 85k, or Spice on that. Stukov had 50. But that is because there was a lot of quick blow up for the side of ReGen Nebula, which Stukov isn't necessarily good into. He does struggle a little bit. On that, good siege from both the Blaze and the D.Va, having very similar soak as well. Good stuff. In terms of talents, is there anything that stands out to me is the next question. No, is he already the answer? Interesting to see Q build come back on Jaina. Jaina has not picked that Q build in a while, but it's doing pretty well. Joanna nearly at 50 stacks of Lords of Hope, which is actually about a 70% heal once you get there. Unfortunately, didn't quite get off the subdue there. And Anduin had 3 stacks of Inner Light, and actually Felstar had 57 stacks of the nope, can't remember it. Frequent Flyer. Also 140 stacks on Taser Explosion for Junkrat is certainly a lot. Interesting, probably the most interesting thing here is Burst Fire picked up. It's not the thing you see often, but it can still very well. And Orville went Lurking Terror on their E, which going into Q build you'd expect to be the life steal, especially into tanks such as Blaze and Joanna. But if they can't if they are struggling to get full value out of their Q build, this is very much the safe option where you can poke from afar and still get a pretty good burst damage. But I'm going to put it over to the map view screen because that's going to be me. I could technically do another one, but I am quite tired, so I am going to call it there for this evening. To everyone watching in chat, thank you for joining. I have been your host, V-Line Bus, who is just needing to have a rest for the night. After talking a lot yesterday, and even just at one serious day, I just kind of like, you know what, I need a nap. Hope everyone has a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where they are in the world, because time zones are very weird. But I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least, for now.